On number 1, I need to know two things that add to negative 4 and multiply to negative 32. Your group gets a point. Yes. Yes. Did you say the right thing, every race, and I wrote the wrong thing?
I think I did it backwards, but
I don't know. We're going to give you the point anyway. And then we're going to give Brady and Drea the point for helping me fix it. Okay, if I set these equal to 0, and I can find my actual zeros, where are my zeros? Thank you, ma'am, and your group gets a point. Okay, number 2, another easy factor. Need two things that add to negative 5, multiply to negative 66. Negative 11, positive 6. Negative 11 plus 6 is negative 5. Negative 11 times 6, negative 66. I heard every grace, but I heard another voice. Who was the other voice? Okay, 2 and 4 get a point. Okay, if these were set equal to 0 and I needed my two zeros, thank you, Darren. Your group gets a point. 11 and negative 6. Number 3 is an easy one as well. Perfect. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 plus 8 is 13, so that's perfect. If we set these equal to 0, negative 5, negative 8, 2 get a point. Number 4 is the only somewhat challenging one, and it's really not that deep. If you take out a negative y, you're left with, and then, okay, 2 and 3 get a point. This is the part where you tend to break my heart, so be very careful. Oh, and you can have a point, ma'am, because that makes my heart happy. I knew you were going to get the negative 3, negative 2. Lord knows we like to mess up on that 0. Make sure you are like table 5, and you do not forget this one is straight up a 0. Yay. So that was no big deal, and we're fine. When you're on my nerves. That was no big deal, and we're fine. Today is a little more frustrating, but we'll still be fine. Ms. Compton had a brain fart yesterday. Let's return to that today. We did 1 through 4, and my brain fart was on number 5. Let's go back to number 5. I wish I wrote in pencil sometimes, so my brain farts wouldn't be so obvious. I actually am going to come back to number 5 in a second. I want to start with number 6 today. Number 6 was a little easier all along. Why is number 6 easier than number 5? It's already set equal to 0. 5 gets a point. There's another reason why number 6 is already easier than number 5. The leading coefficient is 1, and 3 gets a point. This one's going to be even easier. I've said like 50,000 times, and now I can tell you because I've copied the test. I'm ready to give you the test. There are 2 problems on the test dealing with sum and difference of cubes. So this is not our first rodeo with this. We should not be too bad at it. Go away. So I need to know, I know that x to the third is x to the third. I need to know what cubed is 64. Thank you, ma'am. And yes, you are supposed to know that. I'm not going to give you a point for it because you're going to, was that you, Drea? Yes, I'm not going to give you the point for it because you're going to finish it for me. But before we finish it, remind me of the acronym that I need. SOAP. SOAP was same sign, opposite sign, and then always positive. So same sign. Mine was a plus, so same as a plus. Opposite side, always positive. I just need help filling in the gaps, and I'm pretty sure Dre's going to handle it for me. I pray. If you don't, I will gladly let Brady. Yeah, he'll handle it. Go ahead, Brady. X, 4, x squared, negative 4x, 16. We're all supposed to know that and be able to do that now. It's always x and 4 in the first one. You square that guy, first blank, square this guy, last blank, multiply them together, middle blank. Every single time, this is what it's been. We've done 3 different math workshops of these. We did one yesterday. We got number 5 yesterday. We're doing number 6 today. Yeah, we're still messing it up, but you know what? It will be okay. Okay, yesterday I had a bit of a brain fart because it happens to the best of us. So we're going to pretend like number 5 didn't happen, and plus you slept since then. So we'll go back through number 5 and make sure we're on the same page. And then we'll do one more of these just to make sure we're completely legit. Okay, we rewrote the problem yesterday. And then we discussed that 2 to the third was 8. X to the third was x to the third. 3 to the third was 27. So really, 8x to the third is a perfect cube. 27 is a perfect cube. We can still use SOAP and do the sum and difference perfect cubes. So same sign, I have a minus. Opposite sign, always positive. We decided it was 2x and 3. 2x squared, well 2 squared is 4. X squared is x squared. 3 squared is 9. And in the middle, I do 2x times 3x and get 6x. We had this yesterday. And then Miss Compton tried to make life too deep. And we'll come back to that momentary deepness in a second. We're going to do one extra problem though. Or was there any questions about that? Maybe like how we got the 4x squared? Okay, so I did 3 squared and got 9. I did 2x squared, so I did 2 squared, which is 4, x squared, which is x squared. 2x times 3x, 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so we're going to do one more and make sure we're completely on the same page. Let's do, make it a little hard. No, I don't think that. Let's do 125 x cubed minus 8. And set that equal to 0. What cubed gives me 125x cubed? 5x would give me 125x cubed. Perfect. And then what cubed gives me 8? 2. So literally, I'm thinking about 5x and 2. So same sign. My problem's a minus. So same sign, opposite sign, always positive. I just need to fill in the blanks. Can someone besides Brady help me fill in the... Brady, did I give you a point last time? I should have if I didn't. Can someone besides Brady help me fill in the blanks on this one? Okay, 5x minus 2. Then what? So it's something x squared. What goes in front of the something? $25. It's supposed to be 5 squared and x squared because I'm taking this 5x and squaring it. And that's how I'm getting 25x squared. Because the first one is always this thingy squared. 5 squared is 25. 3, you can have your point. Okay, what's going to be in the very last blank? Very last blank. Yes, because 2 squared is 4. And if you'll fill in the middle, I'll give you another point. 10x, yes. 3 get a point, 5 get a point. Okay, again, you're going to have to do this on your own now. We're not quite done. We have a little tiny one step extra to do. But before we do that extra one tiny step, you knew that there was going to be an assignment for you to practice. Flip to the back page, next page on the back. Sorry, words, English, sometimes. Look at the back of the next page. There are 18 problems. How many of these problems are dealing with sum and difference of cubes? Look at it. Look at it. How many of these problems are sum and difference of cubes? No. That's not true. Cubes would mean every single problem's a cube.
Well, pick first.
Oh gosh. Someone who has the legit answer, not just guessing things.
It's so. I just counted.
Just because they're a cube, doesn't mean it's the perfect cube. There's 6 perfect cubes. Yeah, but you didn't even look at the page, baby doll. Okay, so I'm not, no offense, but no points. Number 6 is a cube because 3 cubes 27, 4 cubes 64. But like number 13, that's not perfect cubes. 5's not a perfect cube number, neither is 3 or 15. So yes, 1 through 6 are sum and difference of cubes. So if you need to make a note of that to yourself, 1 through 6, sum and difference of cubes. There are 2 sum and difference of cubes problems on your test. One has a leading coefficient of 1. The other has a leading coefficient of a perfect cube, like 8 or 27. Okay, so that's part of your assignment when I get done rambling is this. That's what you're going to work on tomorrow as well. I would love to see it by the end of class tomorrow because I'm going to post the key tomorrow night. That way you can make sure you got this before the test. If I told you 4 of the problems on the test are graphing, that means the other 6 are dealing with this kind of thing, with factoring. There are 2 cube ones, and then there are going to be 2 of the next type, and then 2 of the last type. So 2 per section. So we've covered one type-ish. We need to go back to it and finish, save the day, and then we'll move on. Okay, so back to this. Go back to your front page. Yes, you and I have factored. Sadly, factoring's great, but the whole point of factoring was to reach actual solutions because we want to know where our graph is crossing the x-axis. We need the zeros. So let's start with the one we just worked. If I am trying to find the zeros, I set 5x minus 2 equal to 0. I end up getting x equals, and that's how Grace's group gets another point. If I set 25x squared plus 10x plus 4 equal to 0, what do you think I'm supposed to do from there in order to figure out the zeros? You would think something, or are there any like terms? No. What would you think you're supposed to do? What did I think we were supposed to do yesterday? Hence my brain fart. I thought we were supposed to factor. Guess what? This is not factorable. So literally all I need Naya to do on the test on these is she can put this answer, because it's a real number. This other part, I don't care if she just puts a little arrow underneath and puts imaginary. We can't actually solve it. It's going to end up having eyes. We're not going to bother on these on the sum and difference of cubes. We're not going to bother. And we'll talk about why for this type only in just a second. We're just not going to bother. We're going to say, okay, I realize there are 2 imaginary numbers. Well, I normally like to reach an answer of plus or minus 3i. It's okay today that I'm just going to say, I don't know. It is what it is. 1 lose point.
That wasn't two.
Okay, thank you. It's fine. I just assumed it was, you and I, we wouldn't be honest. You know I assumed it was Mason. It's not Mason. He doesn't even have, I'll give 1 a point because I was picking on him. I'll give 1 a point because I picked on him. You're right. Whoever did it, thank you. 1 gets a pity point. There you go. Okay, good. That's where it needs to be. Okay, back to math. Same thing's going to happen on number 6. We're just going to say this part is in imaginary numbers because we can't factor it. We'll discuss it in just a second here. Let me regain my train of thought. Okay, so we're still going to say this trinomial part's imaginary numbers, but there is a legit answer I can get out of the binomial. What is the actual answer? -4 for the real number. So you can get 1 answer out of these, but the other 2 answers are imaginary. Now, on the other problems we worked today, I want the actual imaginary solution. We are going to solve and get the plus or minus 3i. But as for these, we're not going to, because they can't factor, and because you've forgotten how you might get the answers anyway. And I just cannot relive that nightmare today. Let's talk about number 5, and then I'll remind you the way to actually get the answer if you're that determined. Naya does not have to get the answer if she just puts imaginary number under the trinomial and then gives me the legit first answer. I'm good to go. What's the legit first answer on number 5? What? Okay, thank you, 5. You can have a point. Yes, you do. You said 2x minus 3 equal to 0. So 2x equals 3. So x equals 3 over 2. But you're too smart to do any of that actually on paper. So you've been doing it in your head for a while. You just had a moment because we all have moments. Okay. This is all I need from Naya. She's going to tell me the legit answer. And then she's going to say those two are imaginary on the test. But for those of us who just are curious in life, because it's good to be curious, do we normally stop and call it a day and quit in math class? No. Is there a way to get the actual answers? Yes. You actually already know it and you've already used this method before. I've asked every class period and they've not known the answer. It's a formula that we've used in the first person out of all the classes who actually came up with the formula. Okay, it's the quadratic formula, the negative e plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ab. No, now Naya already passed the test on that last semester. 2 can have her point. Naya literally passed the test on that last semester. I do not have time to retest Naya on does she remember that quadratic formula and can she find these 2 answers. Nobody has time for that. So if you're determined you can figure it out using the quadratic formula, I'm happy with it. Just put a little bracket and say imaginary and I'm happy today. Okay, so you know how to do 1 through 6 on the back now. Are there any questions about this cube part? Okay, you're smart. The next part is not raised to the 3rd power. It's raised to the 4th power. So I'm pretty sure you can spot what questions on the back deal with this. So look on the back. What problems are you assigned that have to deal with 7 and 8? Say it again, ma'am. 10 through 12, no. 7 through 12 are all the ones like we're about to do. So notice how there's 6 from each section. And guess what? There are 2 on the test from this section. It keeps just being all the same. Number 7 is super easy and sadly, yes. And sadly, I knew you were going to get it too fast for me. So x squared, you can have a point. Okay, 7's super easy because everybody has an x squared, so I pull out a GCI. Sadly, 8's not going to work like that. Okay, but this is an easy factor. I need 2 things that add to 10, multiply to 21. Seven and 3. Was that you, Drea, as the backup voice, as always? 2 and 4. If you were in the front, you would probably be the soloist, but alas. Okay, so that was really easy. Where are my zeros? Perfect. Every group can have a point. There is still one more point available on this question, however, and I think Brady's going to answer it without even knowing it. Say your words, Brady. And 2 and 3 can both have a point. Every class period I've said, what else should we notice about this problem? What else should we notice about this problem? And no one's come up with it until these 2. We should probably make a note that 0 has a multiplicity of 2, which means on the graph, at 0, what needs to happen? It has to be a bounce. If there's not a bounce, then Drea missed it. Drea didn't miss it on the checkpoint. Why she's only going to miss it on the test, I don't know. So literally, she's going to blow her graph, which is a big point of her grade, because she skipped the multiplicity. Okay, number 8 is not as easy. Are there any questions about 7? 8 is not near as easy, and we can't just quit either. I know I have to move the 18 over, so it's x to the 4th plus 11x squared plus 18x equals 0. I know that. But sadly, there's no GCF this time. There's not. And we can't just quit. Now, I know you are not robots. And I know you don't remember everything I've ever done because we've been together for a long time now. but I promise you I've done at least 2 problems like this in the past. So don't think this is the first day you're seeing it. It's not. I use substitution. I say y is equal to x squared. So my problem becomes y squared plus 11y plus 18 equals 0. Now, why does Ms. Compton use substitution? It makes it an easy factor now. I didn't know how to factor that blue line, but I can factor the crap out of that green line. What are my 2 factors? And your group gets another point. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 plus 2 is 11. Okay, are there any questions about the 2 green lines? Again, I'm using substitution literally to make my life easier to factor. But I would be wrong if I said the answers here were -9 and -2. Wouldn't I? What do I need to do? I've got to go back to x's. So while I've done a great job with substitution, our problem was given in x's, we've got to go back to x's. So this needs to be x squared plus 9, and this needs to be x squared plus 2. And now we're at a sad day. Because these zeros were supposed to be super easy. Look, it was -9 and -2. What happened? And now we got to start dealing with imaginaries. So if I set each of these equal to 0, I'm going to have to solve both equations. But again, have you already been tested on imaginary numbers? Yes. So should this be a big deal? No. So on this equation, I get x squared equals -2. How do I get rid of the squared? Okay, so I have x equals plus or minus the square root of -2. So what's my final answer then? Yes, and the I is not inside that house. Make sure the I is outside the house. So we've got this imaginary solution. We still need to solve the other equation as well. Does anyone know the... Yes, 2, 3, 5 points. So yes, I get -9. Yes, I take the square root. So I have x equals plus or minus the square root of 9i. Hey, you know the square root of 9 is 3, so plus or minus 3i. Do you have to show all the work if you see it in your head? No. Okay, so that really stinks. And while I do expect Naya to solve and get these answers, because she can, and she's going to practice, so I know she can. While that's great, and that's all that's going to be on the test, what's the point in life if we're not relating this back to what we were doing graphing? So since we have 4 imaginary solutions, what does that mean about our graph? It's not going to cross the x-axis. And then we're smart. Our problem was something x to the 4th with a positive 1 in front, and it's a 4. So what graph should it look like? Is it a U? It's a 4th. It's a W. It's a 4th, and it's got a positive leading coefficient. So it's a W, but guess what? That W never crosses that x-axis. Oh, that's funny. Okay. This is the point where I'm going to give DJ options. We'll let DJ choose. I like the pressure of it. I like it. No, you. Maynard. Okay. Would you rather go work on the first 12 and Ms. Compton handle these last 3 tomorrow? Or would you rather Ms. Compton use all her words today so all you do tomorrow is work on that worksheet? Which would you rather? You want me to ask everybody? So you want me to keep talking then? You can handle me saying something else. It was the cubes and the cortex. You can handle me saying one more thing. Yeah, I would have thought you would have said wait till tomorrow.
Let's finish it all tomorrow.
First period's waiting till tomorrow. Second period did it all today. I don't know. You want like a hybrid?
No,
I do 1.5 of the 3.
I don't know. No, tomorrow.
Let's just say I don't want to overwhelm you. So if I'm voting, I'm gonna say let's just finish these last 3 tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm gonna stop talking. You have. Don't forget.